Hi, my name is Nano Riley, and I'm here today with Charles Hoffman, who has had a very exciting life playing for silent movies. That got him started, and he's just done all sorts of things since he started playing for silent movies. So this is Mr. Hoffman. Tell me, when did you start playing for silent movies?
The first time I played I was 16. I was still in high school. And the organist wanted to have a little vacation, so I took him over on the weekends and played for cowboy movies. And I guess that started me off.
Oh, what kinds of cowboy movies did you play for?
Oh, Hoot Gibson and Buck Jones and all those old cowboy stars.
That's great. So how long did you play in Tampa?
Well, I only played for less than a year because that was at the end of the 20s. And talking pictures came in, and we all lost their jobs, and I didn't play anymore for 30 or 40 years because there were no silent movies shown. Everyone wanted to see talking pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So when talking pictures became old enough to be historical, then I started playing again.
Well, what got you started playing again?
Well, I organized little film festivals in different places, and brought films from the Museum of Modern Art from their library, and in that sense I played. And then someone knew about me and asked me if I would play at the Museum of Modern Art, which I did for 5 years, and I played for 1,000 silent movies.
My goodness. And that's where you met a lot of the people of the silent movies.
Yeah, those that were still alive. The directors and the old movie stars and all that, they came to introduce their films.
Uh-huh.
And so I met all of them, and I became friends with a great many of those people.
I understand you're still friends and you still correspond with Lillian Gish, is that correct?
Yeah, I just wrote her a letter, but she hasn't answered me because I guess she's either preoccupied or out of the country, because she's very active. She'll be 98 this year. There was Harold Roach, who did all the early comedies of Harold Lloyd and all the others. And then one of the most rewarding experiences was the lovely lady who was in her 60s or more, Betty Bronson, who in 1924 at 17 made Peter Pan.
Oh yes, I've heard of her. She was the first Peter Pan on the
Well, she was the one that Barry selected to play Peter Pan.
Uh-huh.
And that was lovely, and I played my own score for that for her when she introduced the film.
Favorite of one of his films?
Well, I like, of course, his most famous film is called Metropolis, which I played for many times. But the film that he really liked me to play for was Spione, which is spies, and so forth. But I mean, he made some films in America as well, you know, as well as Germany.
Yeah, what were some of his American films? I can't remember.
Rancho Notorious with Marlene Dietrich.
Right, that's right. That's a great one. And what did you do when you weren't playing for silent movies? If you
Well,
there's
I
quite
didn't
a gap
do that
in there.
very long because there was 30 or 40 years. I didn't play for any silent pictures because none were shown.
So what did you do during that period of time? You did a lot of other...
Well, I became an ethnomusicologist and an anthropologist, and I was 20 years at the American Museum of Natural History, lecturing on ethnic subjects. I could tell you all about the music of pygmies and American Indians and Eskimos, etc. And in doing that, I was there for a long time. But I was over 30 years on radio.
Oh, what did you do on radio?
I left Tampa when I was 19 and went to New York because I said, this is a stupid place and I need to get to the action. So I came to the action in Tampa, out of Tampa to New York City, and was in 2 weeks, a friend of mine got me a job on CBS, and I was in a soap opera every day, broadcasting 15 minutes a week.
Oh.
Yeah, so
You were
I
a
did
character?
that. I was a young boy who was giving his mother problems.
And this is another book that you did. This is called Sounds for Silence. This is one that you wrote about playing for silent movies. I also like what you say here where you start out, the heading on this particular page, it says, no films were silent.
No, because even from the beginning, in 1900, they were accompanied by music. Mm-hmm. But I have never seen a film without music.
That's true. Come to think of it, that's very true.
Here, the original 1919 program of Broken Blossoms.
Oh my goodness.
And Lillian gave me that. And there's, of course, Fritz Lang.
And that's autographed, I see.
Yeah, and so on. And that's Billy Bronson, who played Peter Pan in 1924.
Oh.
And that's the original poster for Chaplin's Kid.
Uh-huh, I see. And here's one from the Great Train Robbery.
That was the stage play of 1898, and then in 1903 it was made into a movie by Porter.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And over here...
These are the Gish sisters, Lillian and Dorothy.
Uh-huh.
In 1912 it was their first movie. They were teenagers.
Yes.
You want to get down, don't you? Goodbye. Of course, my favorite over there is Charlie Chaplin.
Oh yes, let's go look at Charlie Chaplin.
This I'm very proud of because it was an autographed picture he sent me when I was 12 years old.
How did you get that? Now that's very interesting.
When I was 12, I had seen The Gold Rush, which was, of course, this 1925 film. I wrote him a letter and I said, your wonderful film of The Gold Rush is worth more than all the gold of the Klondike. And he must have liked that because he sent me this autographed picture.
Oh, that's
and he
great.
never gives autographs.
This is Charles Hoffman, and it's been a pleasure talking with you, Mr.
Thank
Hoffman.
you very much.